This is going to be huge for the Oklahoma City Thunder as the 2024-2025 MVP race will come down to the wire as the Oklahoma City Thunder bolstered up their roster a little bit, but so did the Dallas Mavericks, who are led by Luka Doncic, who it seems as though there's a little bit of a rivalry going on right now between the Mavs and Thunder, the fan bases, even the players as well. This whole Luka versus SGA debate going on as well about who's the better player. So this MVP race is going to be insane, and it's going to be one for the storybooks as well, because I feel like it's going to come down to the wire, and it's going to come down to one key factor that I'm going to talk about in an article that Rylan Stiles wrote over there on Sports Illustrated for the Thunder, which we're going to break down in this video, and also talk about Shai's stats this year, where he can improve on as well going into the 2024-2025 campaign. And yes, I know I'm in a little bit of a different setup. I'm out again. I'm in Round Rock, Texas for the weekend right now. So this will be the regular setup in the hotel room for the next few videos. But before we do get all that, though, I want to take a moment and recognize that 77.6% of you guys coming back and watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. Try to balance that out a little bit more. Get it more to like 70-30. 70% of you guys not watching or aren't subscribed. And then 30% of you guys coming back and watching are subscribed to the channel. Try to balance it out a little bit more, because I know like 100% of you guys coming back and watch these is like almost nearly impossible, because we're always going to have new people coming here. So if you guys enjoy the content that we put out here on Thunder Digest, and you find yourself coming back on a regular basis, oops, sorry, I forgot to hide that one there. You mean the world if you can hit that subscribe button. And with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get into the video talking about this article, kind of breaking it down, what Rylan had to say there. I agree with a ton of what he had to say, by the way. I usually always do with his articles, and everyone over there on Sports Illustrated for the Thunder, and then also Clemente Almanza over there at the Thunder Wire. Bunch of their articles I agree with, and I love using them here on the channel. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and get into the first piece of information here from an article. This is written by Rylan Stiles, of course. Entering the 2024-2025 campaign, Gilgeous-Alexander fetches the third best odds to take home the hardware. According to FanDuel, he's at plus 550, only being placed behind Maverick star Luka Doncic at plus 370 and Jokic at plus 360. The Thunder star holds a small edge over Embiid, plus 600, with Oklahoma City rebuilding their roster to elongate their front court depth with the signing of Isaiah Hartenstein and making life easier on the first five, with Alex Caruso swapping in for Josh Giddey. So it seems as though Rylan is saying that Alex Caruso will be that final member of the starting five. That I don't necessarily agree with. That's the only part of this article I don't agree with him on that. I think Isaiah Hartenstein should be the starter, but I feel like the roster is, the starting five is always going to flip each and every game according to who we're playing. Going into the rest of this here, this gives the Thunder the best odds to win the Western Conference according to FanDuel. This could give Gilgeous-Alexander the inside lane for the most valuable player award, as many have come out defending the Thunder star since the decision was made in Jokic's favor. The latest being NBA legend Dwayne Wade as a commentator for Gilgeous-Alexander's electric Olympic performance. So this is all the part I agree with here, is how he should be he should be one of the clear favorites, and he is, third best odds there, so clearly he's one of the favorites to win it. But I think he should be the favorite, considering how successful the team can be, especially with how stacked the Western Conference will be. He's going to have to put up the same amount of stats, if not better, than what he did this season, which I think he can. All right, I think he can truly become one of the top 5 two-way players in the league if he improves on his defense a little bit more. There are times he gets caught lacking, going in for steals, and a defender will drive right by him. So there are times when I see that. I think that's the best part of his game that he can improve on. We'll also look at the stats later, see if there's any, number stats that he can improve on, which I don't necessarily think there are many. There might not be any that he can improve on besides maybe assists. We'll look at that. So it's just one of those things where he just needs to improve a little bit better defensively to make the actual case that, okay, he won the MVP award. And there's another part of, this whole puzzle going on as well, talking about why he could be the favorite to win it over a guy like Jokic and Luka Doncic. And it comes down to this second piece of information that we have right here by Rylan Stiles. With voter fatigue likely setting in for Jokic as NBA media continues to put pressure on themselves to watch the amount of honors they throw around in order to keep narrative and all-time debates at bay, Gilgeous-Alexander is the obvious next choice. Countless times, NBA media has tossed the player a make good award after being deserving the year prior. Couple that with the fact Gilgeous-Alexander is in line for another stellar season, if not career year, given the talent around him, and you get a great bet. While Doncic is dominant and one of the best players in the sport, the superstar just doesn't play in enough games routinely to not have that held against him. While he statistically will deserve MVP, the voters are what count here for better or worse. So I like how he brings this up. I'm going to leave it up here a little bit so y'all can also see what I'm talking about here. He's talking about the amount of games played. SGA is historically one of the healthier players in the league. Luka Doncic, however, he generally isn't. I see him playing anywhere from 60 to 65 games every season. And when you're comparing the stats of someone who has 3 points more than you and maybe 2 to 3 assists or rebounds more than you, but yet you're playing better defensively, they're going to look at, okay, what about the games? Oh, Luka played, I'm just leaving this up so you guys can reiterate what I'm talking about here. Luka played 62 games. Whereas this is just hypothetical for next year. And SGA played, let's say, 78 games. Okay, so of course with SGA playing a little bit more, like 16 more games than Luka Doncic, of course they're going to be like, okay, his stats might be down a little bit as well because there might be games where he's off, he's getting double teamed the whole time, or someone else steps up. So of course that's going to happen. And both teams got better. That's something else you got to look at there. Both teams got better, so one person's stats might go down points-wise, but in other categories they might increase. And this is where I think SGA can really improve, is because his team did get better with all the pieces they added on, with Alex Caruso being in there instead of Josh Giddey. That gives you a viable option from behind the three-point line as well when you're kicking it out on a drive to someone open in the corner, where we can rely on Alex Caruso to hit those shots. And SGA is a good player at finding people as well, and I think his assist numbers is what really held him back last season. I think that is the reason he didn't win MVP, is because of his assist numbers. He's a point guard. They're like, okay, he only averaged 6 assists a game last year. I think with who we have on this team now as well, with a bunch of people recognizing SGA as a player he is as well as a scorer, his assist numbers can go up to 9, maybe even 10 a game with the options he has around him. I predict him, you see his stat line right here, 30 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 6 assists, a block a game, 2 steals a game, less than 3 turnovers, almost right at 2, 2.5 fouls a game, 53% from the field as a point guard, as your main scorer. That is amazing to see. 35% from behind the three-point line. Would love to see that around 38, 37, his three-point shot, but he has gotten better at it through the years. 50% on corner threes, 36% of his threes are assisted, 18% of all his shots are threes. We know he doesn't take the three ball. He drives in and shoots the mid-range a ton, 6'6", and he's young as well. And I just see the numbers that increase for him next year is the three-point percentage. I do see him being a 37, 38% three-point shooter next season. And then the assist numbers. The assist numbers I see increasing to close to 9 potentially because of who you've replaced on this team, who you've added on. Alex Caruso is now there as a shooter instead of Josh Giddey. Isaiah Hartenstein is a great pick-and-roll option as well. J-Dub's gotten better as a player. Chet Holmgren's gotten better as a player. They're all improving their shots. Lou Dort has looked good from behind the arc in the Olympics so far. On the bench as well, when you have him running with those guys. Cason Wallace, Aaron Wiggins, Isaiah Joe, spot-up three-point guy, catch-and-shoot guy right there. So when you're looking at everything who's on his team, I see the assist numbers increasing greatly. I do. I see it jumping up from 6 to potentially 9, maybe even 10 a game, where you can average a double-double with points and assists. Rebounds, I still see staying at 5. All right, I do see him staying at 5. But if he puts up a season where he has 30, 10, and 5 as a stat line, and then still gets 2 steals a game, and he's still efficient like he was last season, I don't see any reason he can't win the award. All right, because Embiid's not going to be a part of it, because you have to keep in mind, okay, the Sixers, they have a bunch of guys on their team that are injury prone. Embiid gets injured all the time. He might not even make the qualified games for the award. And so it's just one of those things where I don't think he'll be considered for it because of the amount of games he will miss. And it's going to come down once again between Jokic, Luka, and SGA, like we saw this season. That's what's going to happen. I think Jokic is going to have to finish his team as the 2 seed, and he's going to have to average 34 a game and a triple-double once again if he wants the MVP award, which isn't out of the question for Jokic, but once again, I don't see them finishing higher than a 4 seed. I see him finishing as a 5 or 6, and I think that isn't enough for them. I think they, to actually prove that Jokic deserves it, and like he was the reason their team is so high in the standings, they finished so well in the Western Conference, he would have to have an insane season where he averages a triple-double again and more than 30 points a game. And he didn't do that last season, but his team still finished strong. So he's going to have to show that, okay, I am truly the best player on the team, and I'm the best player in the league since I carried my team to where we are now with the amount of players we lost in the offseason and due to free agency. Luka Doncic, we know he's going to put up the stats. We know it. It's going to come down to how many games he misses. That's what it's going to come down to. So I think SGA has the award. I don't want to say on lock, but I think he is the favorite, and he's a good bet to place on for MVP next season because of A, the amount of games that other competitors will miss, and B, the improvement he should make in the stats that I think held him back last season for the award. That's my personal opinion on it. Let me know what you guys personally think in the comment section below. What do you think SGA has to improve on if he wants to win the MVP award? Let me know that down in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.